Welcome back to Sabotage Garage. One of the steering clutches wasn't working properly, which is one of these bad boys in here. So these here are freshly rebuilt. I've rebuilt them. It's got new clutch packs in one side because the side that wasn't working had fiber discs and all the insides had been torn out. So I got a whole new set from America at Tractor Parts, I think his website is. Real good. And these are the new clutch plates. So that's a bimetallic clutch and steel plate. So I've rebuilt one side with brand new, and we used the one side had already had a bimetallic plates in it. They're different from these ones, but they still worked, and they weren't stacked as high as the new one, so I ordered a few extras and I chucked a couple in the old one. But that's all rebuilt, ready to go. So now I have to finish buttoning up this back end with those new clutches in here. So I've got some new bolts for in here, because the old bolts were stripping the thread off, not in the plate behind, but in the thread. These are an absolute prick to get in and out. These bolts here I've put in because it's meant to compress the clutches a little bit, or let them off and shrink it up, so it only just fits between here and here when you pull them out. You have to take this disc off. There's a gear that slides in and out there, and then you've got to take all these off and spin them around. So yeah, I'm gonna replace all these bolts now. I'll have to go and get my other piece of machinery to move this thing, because we have to rotate it to get all the bolts around the outside. I've already done these ones up. Once we do that, we can put the clutch fork in, which is driven off these, which pushes on the big spring inside here. And yeah, then we need to put some fresh oil in the center diff here. I don't know if you can see down there, but the pinion looks a bit worn, but no, it looks like it's had some junk between it. But I can't do everything. You know, if I start replacing all this stuff, I will replace the whole bulldozer. But yeah, this is pretty cool. So once we get it all sorted at the back end, then we'll try and crank her up again. I've got to put all the seat back on, the fuel tank, and we'll try and crank her up. It's been sitting a while, so I think it might take a bit to get going. Look at that beast, isn't it cool? 1965 International BTD6. I love it. So now that we've got the replacement hardware in the areas I can reach, we need to go and get another piece of unfinished machinery I own to move this, to be able to put the rest in, because we need to spin these, and to do that you need to move the whole thing forward. So I'll go and get that, and then we'll carry on with those. So here's my other piece of legendary machinery. This is a Mitsubishi, or a CAT 55 MM55 SR. I've done a lot of work to it, but I've yet to finish it. I've got to put all the covers back on and the cab back on, but this thing didn't run when I got it too. And anyone that knows me knows I don't buy anything that's running. I normally just buy broken stuff and then fix it. So yeah, this was a good purchase, but we'll use it to move the bulldozer. Let's get it going. That's tight. 5.5 ton machine, so it's decent. Give it a warm up. Yeah, sometimes. It's got this clever for its time safety system, which if this doesn't work, the whole digger doesn't work. And when I got it, this didn't work, and it took a bit to get it going. There was some blowing components on the board, but she's running now. Right, let's go and move this bulldozer. After that rough movement, you can see it's rotated enough to get some more bolts in. I'm replacing these ones, so there's some missing, but gotta replace all these ones. So I'll do that. I'll get back to you. So now that I've got all those replaced, don't they look shiny? Look a bit out of place with the rest of it. Anyway, I've got to take out these bolts. They assist you getting them in and out. Collapses them or what have you. But I do think that one of them I put in is too long, so I'm going to have to cut it to get it out because I'll run out of space to get it out. So I'll get these out and then we'll move on to the next step. It's actually a imperial size nut that I've sanded to fit 17, and it doesn't quite fit properly, but there you go, there's one. That's nice. I thought I was going to struggle having to get these out because it's full of paint now. Let's see if this comes out. Oh, it's going to be close. Yep, that one's too tight. Where is it? Right there. Let's just turn it, see what happens. Oh, damn it, it's right on the edge. Right, I'll cut that one out with the grinder. She only just fits. Now where did the other half go? Oh, hot. Didn't fall out the bottom. Bugger. There it is. Wouldn't want to get that jammed in there. There she is. Right, I'll get the other 5 out and we'll move on. So after a while I've got all those out. They were a bit of a mission. Some of them spin nicely and some of them didn't. But anyway, next job is to put these clutch forks in. We put some new bushings in them because those were a bit worn out. So there's a pin down here. So this sits on the pin and then you wind the pin up from underneath. And we also have to put these on here, and they fit on the fork like that. So I'll get some anti-seize on these just so they're not going to bind up, and we'll chuck those in. After we chuck those in, we'll put the brakes back on. This is the brake surface, so when you're turning you can put your foot on the brake and hold this track from turning. So I'll get those in, and we'll wind that up, get the brake pads in, then we're going to have to clean this out and put some new oil in. So I've got some anti-seize here, and I'm just going to put a little bit on there. You can never put a little bit of this stuff on because it goes everywhere. So just chuck that on the nub. A bit tight on that one, I'll try another one. That one's good. I think there might be a bit too much paint on that one. Oh, there we go. It's on. So spin it over to the other side. This has to be up because there's a remote grease line on that. Cool. I haven't painted these, so I'm just going to give them a lick of soft seal and stop them from rusting. Smells beautiful. Right, I might put a little bit of anti-seize on these forks here. See if we can slip it on. Okay. Well, that's a bummer. I think I need to take the whole lot out because these are on the wrong side. Oh man. Bugger. I've realised that these are in the wrong way. That nipple should be on this side, so I've swapped them over somehow, but these are the remote lines that are meant to go on them and come out here, but the threads are all damaged on these anyway. So what I think I'm going to do, the good one, I might screw it in, I'll give them a shot of grease, and that will last for a long time around here. But if I ever need to grease them again, all I'll do is open the inspection hex here and screw this onto the bottom, and pump them full, because yeah, these are a bit wrecked as well and the threads are all knackered. So I'm not going to pull that all apart again just to flip those over. So I'll go and get some grease and we'll squirt them full now, and I'll block off those nipples. So if you're putting one together, make sure you put this on this side. But yeah, it's just going to face down there, and I'll be able to get to it later if I need to, but I don't think I will. It's not going to get used a whole lot. So I'm just going to screw one of those lines back on and pump them full of grease. As you can see, that one there is not going to screw on anyway. I believe this one wasn't even attached when I pulled it apart, but we might just squirt the old grease that's in that out and give them a new squirt of grease. Old grease. Oh look, there's some new stuff. Right, let's screw it on. So that grease nipple's for the thrust bearing that put on the clutch there. So that should be plenty of grease for the next 50 years. Probably wasn't even greased anyway. Right, next one. I hate this grease gun, it hardly ever works. Right, I'll grease this other one and then we'll carry on. Right, plenty of grease in there now. Let's put this fork back on for the first time since we've had it apart. Right, that should hook onto that one. It should hook on there. Right, got the top one. Well, that was a bit of a bummer, but yeah, it's a lot of work to pull these in and out, so that I'll get a cap and just put over the end of that grease fitting and we'll carry on. Right, that's one on, so we'll chuck the other side on. Give it a quick soft seal as well. Probably should soft seal the whole inside of those cock housings too. Oh, that smells good. Right, chuck this other side in. Oh, we'll just put a bit of anti-seize on those faces. Bit of anti-seize. We'll just prop that one up with the grinder. So now we have to go underneath and do up those stubs, and they're in a bit of a place as well. Get under here. Up in the top behind here, you're probably not going to be able to see it, but there is a stub that we need to screw up. No, you're not going to be able to see it, but there's a pin that goes into the bottom of that fork to hold it. So I'll wind those up and we'll get it all locked in place. Well, that took about an hour, but they're in. This one's a bit loose at the end of the side, but that could be just the bush at the bottom. But they're in. So next step is the brake pads or shoes. So these go down in here. That one joins to this one. There's one there already. So it looks like these have been replaced, I don't know, a while ago, but they've got plenty of meat on them, so I'm going to reuse them. They go in there, that goes through there, and when you press the pedal it pulls the brake pads around the drum. So we'll chuck those in, so we're just getting there. Once we get all this buttoned up, then we can start putting the rest of it back together. So that'll be cool. So I'll get these brake pads on and go from there. Right, slight change of plans. It's starting to rain and I can't work on this in the rain. I need to get it covered up, and that thing there cannot be out in the rain because it hasn't got all its covers on it. So we're going to have to hold it there for now and carry on another fine day. Right, I better go before it starts raining hard. Catch you on the next one. That was a great job. Look at that underneath there. See ya.